Hey everyone, it's Brett Hornby here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel here, and let's just continue on and play another personal vlog here. Here we are up to number 77 here. This is the opposite of what I did for personal vlog number 45 here, but this time I'm going to say it's funny when an animal likes you. In 45 I talked about I think it's funny when an animal hates you here, but let's just flip the coin here and let's talk about it's funny when an animal likes you. Mostly, it's going to be stories I'll share about cats and dogs here, and it's just always weird that for some reason, even if you've never ever seen this animal in your life here, that they seem to like you or hate you for no reason. And I think it's just as funny when you see it on both sides of the coin here. So before I get into the video here, if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, you know what you need to do. Just make sure you hit like, subscribe, and I also have my other social media links down in the description below here. So yeah, getting back to the personal vlog here, I definitely have some interesting stories here, and I do think dogs make better pets than cats here, but I have had some experiences where I've seen cats that show some kind of same affection, same way as a dog does. It's kind of neat and funny and creepy at the same time here. But I know the first story I would like to share is I know that sometimes when you're walking about to get to work here, and you get into your routine here, and sometimes you see the same person or persons walking their dog here. I know I shared that in my other personal vlog where I think it's funny when an animal hates you there, and I know there was this miniature schnauzer that I guess for some reason, in that first vlog I talk about, I would just like to get in my head into that dog and think, what makes me of all people, the worst human it's ever seen? But there's this one dog, I don't know the breed here, but it's just kind of strange how this one seems to really like me, and I know after a few times we divert away because it's just weird that this dog, I don't know, is it possible could dogs be gay? I don't know, but this dog, when he sees me, I mean, they're walking away, but when you know that the dog wants to show up affection and that, they get more relaxed and, they start panting. I sometimes say dogs, when they're just panting, they're happy, but this one, it's just weird how it just suddenly starts getting all relaxed and panting and got that funny look. And I had a few times pet it. It was fun but it was just weird how excited that dog was to see me. And like I said, never seen this dog before in my life. Until a few times when that, going to work and my routine going to work and the other, walking their dog that lives nearby there, but that was just very weird. And now, when it comes to a couple of cats here, I know where I used to live, there was a couple of houses or townhomes, because I used to live in a townhouse, that they had a couple cats here. I know this one cat here, it just likes to stare at you. It just gives that look, and, as you're walking by there, and even sometimes it, creeps around the corner and looks at me if it's outside. And there's just times I just say, "Hey kitty, what's up? What's up, kitty?" Just looks at me, stares by. And then when the cat's at this townhouse where it lives, either it stares at me out the window, it just gives me a look, or if it's outside just wandering around, it just stays in the corner, stares at me. Or if you try to approach it, it runs away. And then as I walk away, it comes back, continues to look at me, and nothing to do it. Well, what makes this cat really, really funny is that, obviously, if it senses me, and being in this complex in the townhouse here, it probably senses the smell, and maybe hearing as well. But then getting back into that cat, wandering around here, I used to have a big tree that was right on my townhouse where I used to live there. And, it was near the window of the living room here. And sometimes I'm just, chilling at home. And then you just hear a meow. And I was like, what the heck is that? And I've heard that on more than one occasion. I mean, it's a thick, spruce tree there where you can't really see anything in there. But there's times that, was planning on going out anyway, all hours of the day. And, as I walk out, shortly after you hear that, I come out here and guess what? It was that cat that I always say, hey kitty, what's up? And it's funny how it just falls out of the tree and then kind of runs away, runs back to its home, and it just stares at me. That's just weird. I mean, it acts like a scary cat, but when it's protected by the window, or if I'm inside my place and it's up in that tree there, but it's just funny how it just plops out of the tree, runs away. But I don't know. That's just weird. And then there was this other cat going back to the complex I used to live at. This was a case where I kind of saw a cat acting a little like a dog. Like this time the cat, looks at me, meows, and then approaches my leg and, wants a pet, and then it goes on the back, and like a dog, sometimes wants to rub the belly. But, I mean, of course, when anybody who has a cat or dog, and, if I regularly go by and, shows, I want a pet, want to play, I'm going to do it. Hopefully people don't have a problem with it. Most are cool with it, entertaining their pets and showing interest. I just don't like how some people, they get upset if their dog barks at you and they get mad at you. It's like, well, I need to walk by, and I mean, just think, if you decide to get a dog, you got to inevitably accept the fact that it's going to bark at people. And I know my parents also have stories with the family dog that we grew up where, sometimes, the dog initiates playing and eventually someone walking by. It could be the garbage men, or, let's say back when, utility meter guys go out and read meters there. Sometimes, they play with him for a few minutes, break up their monotony of their work day. And then my mother also shares stories about where all of a sudden you just hear weird barking, whereas the dog was barking, but you can tell the difference of the tones of barking there. And, definitely was playing with them, and then mother checks on them, and then like, what's going on? And worker, the garbage man, or the utility goes, oh, I'm just playing your dog here, having fun with it. And it continues, but I would do that too if a dog showed some affection there. I think those are the only two cat stories that I have here. I know that was just a weird one with that one that goes in the tree and goes that meow thing, but I know another story about playing with a dog is the first time when I saw this particular dog here, just he was a Rottweiler, and they have that, Rottweilers have that stigma there. But I walked by this place, and the dog goes up and just barks at the fence, and I couldn't tell if it was barking like you're approaching my territory, rough, or wanted to play here. And then first it was walking with me, and then eventually I stopped and it came up and it wanted a pet there, so I definitely had fun petting this Rottweiler here. Or what was interesting though was that there was also a mother on this property there, and they had a couple of Rottweilers there. And the funny thing is, there was the one Rottweiler, the one that initially liked me, but the mother didn't seem to like me that much for some reason. Maybe she was being overprotective of her son there. As you can tell, it was a male dog that seemed to like me there. I seem to think when it comes to animals, I definitely seem to have a better luck with male animals than female animals, because I find that the female animals, dogs or cats, are usually more aggressive than the males. I don't know what it is, or it's just weird things that animals sense here. But when the mother's in the yard there, she always seems to block away from me petting that Rottweiler, which was kind of a shame there. And then there was a time where I even felt for the Rottie, that he was crying that I couldn't get the pet because mother was in the way there, and that was just weird. That's when they're both in the yard there, but when it's just the son there, he wants a pet there, and that's a good example of playing with them. And I know the owner actually asked me if I wanted to buy it, and they were selling it to me, and I said no. still with my folks at the time there, and they probably wouldn't have been happy if I suddenly came home with a Rottweiler, and it's all the caring for it and all that stuff. That's why it's also very much easier to enjoy other people's pets there, because you don't have to care for it, feed it, and all that stuff there. But I just this one dog seems to like me there, and then that's when they pointed out that, so I knew it was the mother there, and they know that's the mother. It was kind of giving that bark from the distance there, but that was just it was just weird. I was like, a Rottweiler. I've seen the softer side of a Rottweiler there. So I think that's another, interesting story. Funny, weird when an animal just likes you and you never met this animal. But another interesting story is it also seems to happen more often, let's say when I'm out of town or on holidays here. But and that's the thing, you kind of get cautious when you see someone else's animal, because some of them, they seem to approach the same initially before you get closer, if they like you or don't like you. I mean, it's somewhat obvious, but you have to be cautious initially here. But I know I was in a small village, one of the villages that I visit. When I go on holidays here, I was just walking around doing some sightseeing here, and there's this one house here, and this person had two dogs, two various sizes, like two different sizes here. The first dog who approached me, or approached the property, was a white Shih Tzu. And I also have an interesting history with Shih Tzus as well here, and I know that it seemed like in the block that I grew up with, everyone seems to have had to get a Shih Tzu, because I had a lot of Shih Tzus there, and I know I cared for a neighbor's Shih Tzu when, let's say, when I was a teenager and they went away on holidays there, and they counted me enough to house and dog sit for them while I was away, which is nice and showed I had a little more responsibility then. But I walked towards his house here, and the Shih Tzu came to the corner here, and we just looked, didn't bark or didn't do anything yet. And then I went off, did some more sightseeing. Then eventually came back, and the white Shih Tzu came back to the fence there and looked at me again. And then as I got a little closer to the house there, you slowly saw the tail got wagging, and it got faster and faster and faster and faster. And I was like, oh, I guess this one wants to say hello. So I approached the Shih Tzu, and he was like all going bonkers and look in my hand here. So that was the first dog here. And then initially I still got a little nervous, because this particular house had a black lab here too, and the black lab also ran to a vengeance to the fence there. And I was only almost wondering, well, hopefully, seeing that the Shih Tzu is liking me, maybe the black lab was going to like me too. You just worry. Sometimes I see places where they have two dogs. Sometimes the one dog is very friendly and the other one's not. But in this case, for this house here, the black lab came in and said, oh, I want to join too. And so I definitely was getting joy of petting a white Shih Tzu and a black lab at the same place. And it seems like, I don't know what it is. I don't know, is it big city cats and dogs are more aggressive, or is it just you're more relaxed on holidays and away from your hustle and bustle? But it seems to be easier to approach other animals, or they seem to be more friendlier when I'm out of town. I mean, I don't know what it is. It seems like you memorize the ones that seem to dislike you a lot more when you're closer to home. But that's just weird. And maybe it senses I'm not from there, and I don't know. That's why, getting back to my comment here where I say it's just funny when an animal likes you. It's you might feel the same emotions if it's a person there, but at the same time when it's an animal you're talking about, you're like, oh well. Or I sit back in 45 here, it's like, oh well, dog ate you. But of course, the reason why I don't have a dog is I just don't have the lifestyle or schedule and space for it. And when it's a huge exception right now, given what's been going on. But I'm not home half the day, and what the heck is the dog going to do half the day? And if I have to find someone else to watch or care for the dog when I'm not around half the day, it's like, well, then why have it? So that's why I don't have one myself, and it makes it hard to take a dog with you when you have to rent a car, because they don't want you to pets or smoking in when you rent cars there too. So that also doesn't work there. But that's why I say getting back in this person's log here, where I just sharing some stories about animals that just seemed a little weird, but nice at the same time. That when an animal likes you, and I'd say you had that. I think that gay dog. It's just weird. Then those couple cats. It was just weird, especially that one that likes to go in the tree and meow. And then I saw the other cat. I know the one that goes in the tree and meow was mostly a white coat with like a gray patch on the eye there. I don't know my cat breeds as well, and then this other one that kind of sort of acts like a dog and goes on its back and says rub my belly. It was a gray cat with a fluffier coat there, and then I say you had that Rottweiler. I don't know that gay dog. I just know he had some black coat. Maybe it was just a mutt or a mixed breed. I'm going to say it was a mixed breed because there was no distinguish saying, oh, that's obviously this breed. And of course, if it was a border collie, I definitely would have loved to. I would have gone excited. But actually, most recently, I encountered with a border collie and had reliving some childhood memories there. If you saw my episode 4 of season 2 of my Calgary Roughnecks this month, I actually took a picture of a border collie, and on the way to the game there was actually a border collie that was, because there was a home and garden show going on at the BMO Center, which is right near the Saddledome there, and I was on the way to the Roughnecks game there, and I just saw a border collie and a few people playing with it, and I was like, oh gee, that's an opportunity for me. And I eventually approached the border collie and dropped the ball and give me that hint that says, I want you to play fetch. And I kept playing fetch with that ball with the border collie there, and it was definitely fun. And the border collie was definitely having a ball, no pun intended here. However, this one didn't want to pet. He just wanted me to keep throwing the ball there. And of course, I appreciate the owner was cool. I mean, that's what I like about some dog owners, if they're cool with you interacting with your pets there. I mean, if it wants to have fun playing, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, it's probably just as good for the dog as it is. And I mean, obviously, if it's not liking you, you back away. But that was definitely fun before going to that game there. But that's the only border collie experience I have outside of the ones that I grew up with there. I know that. I guess there was another border collie. However, I'm not too sure if it didn't like me or hate me here, but I know I was just walking away from work one day and I approached this house here, and there was this border collie standing on the gate there, and I almost felt like a kid that was just too nervous to say hi to his idol or hero there. I was like, oh, this is too good to be true. And then I did the approach and see if it wanted to pet, and it was good enough to have a pet, but I mean, it didn't bark or growl. It seemed to enjoy the petting, but then I always knew, oh, those border collies here, so I kept walking by the house there, and I was always kept saying hi to the dog, but the dog just stared at me, like it didn't bark or growl, or it would have been nice if it came to the fence, but it didn't. But it was always nice to see that every day while it was still there. Sadly, that border collie's not there anymore, but that always seems to happen there. People move, and I know that place was up for rent there, and I actually remember one day I walked by that house just out of curiosity there, and someone had a Bernese Mountain Dog, and I was talking baby to it, and I tried not to laugh, and I made an attempt to comment on baby talk and how I feel men and women differ in it here. But I'm going to say those are all the stories I can think of right now, and I say it's funny when, let's say, an animal likes you here, and it's kind of the same thing, when an animal hates you. It's just, there's always seems to be unexplained reason, or that's the one thing I kind of wish that I had, that you could just dislike someone and they just say, oh well, person doesn't like me. But when you have to interact with other people in business or work or whatever, you kind of have to bite your tongue sometimes, and that's where I would be jealous of animals in that case there. So if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fans journey, home of the Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders, just make sure you hit like, subscribe to follow along. I mostly do Calgary sports and other sports gone air, but Personal logs is one of the things I do. I also do attempt to comedy, and I also share my experiences. Let's say I'm at the road or at a sporting event here, so that's all the stuff I post on my channel here. So if that sounds like you'd be interested in to watch, do follow along with this Calgary Sportsman's journey. You know what you need to do. I also have my other social media links down in the description below there. So, I guess I still have some Roughnecks gear on, so I say, go Next go, and I'll say, I'll see you in the next video here.